Check. One. Okay, we're good. I had a massive crash right before this thing started, so hence why I am like 10 minutes late and why Blender is still coming up because my computer is rebooting. And it was bad. I had to disconnect all of my USB drives for it to even post back up, which is annoying and always fills me with joy. Um, but it looks like we are back up and moving again. So as soon as it finishes doing its thing, it should be good. For whatever reason, the first time when I reboot my computer, it runs through a lot of stuff before it lets me go. I need to actually figure out what's going on and what it's doing. But so the hard drive is like really full right now and highly active, but it is alive. Seems to be working okay. So, um, so are we getting there? Come on, Blender. Seems like we should be getting there now. No, hard drive is pegged. I really don't know why it does this. It could take like 5 or 6 minutes sometimes at like 100% accuracy, 100% um, activity. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. So exciting. Good day. How I like to start my Thursday mornings. Maybe it's pulling back from a sleep state. I don't know. We're moving forward. Woo! We have a blender, theoretically. Yes. Okay. Hard drive is still pegging, but there it comes down. Looks like we might be back up and moving again. Alrighty. So we're only 12 minutes into this, but hey. Today we're going to be working on one of the other things that our poll had the other day, the Garden of the First Mother. So it's going to be sort of a more pastoral spot. Let's go ahead and get started, since we're running late now. Um, that was a hard crash. Okay, got a person. Cool. And I'm going to start with some ground. And I think we'll use a circle again this time. And S20. That feels actually even maybe a bit big. Let's go 12. It's going to be a fairly small scene today. We're going to put probably a second terrain on the outside of it for our border. But I think this would be good for what we want. Rotation, scale, tab, F, fillet, 7, inset, and Shift R. Get us our terrains. And then we all know the kind of the drill. Let's start with, grab that one, GZ. That's going to be our loop. So this will be our garden space. And it's working for me. Okay. And right, let's save. Just because it's been that kind of a day. 2312-07-1 live stream garden. Cool. Okay. And now F4, append. I just want to get our terrain kind of laid out. See what we're going to do here. Rocky Desert, node tree, terrain, append. There we go. Geometry nodes, terrain. Cool. Probably a bit bumpier than I need this one to be. So we're going to actually smooth it out. But not flat, flat, flat smooth. So let's scale. Let's take this to like 0.01. That's definitely kind of more in line with what we want. Maybe a little more than that. 0.015. Sure. I like that. We could take it the other option just to try. If we go to like 0.05, which is what we were at before, right? And change our strength to 1. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. That keeps us with some rough edges, some more smaller elements, but just keeps it flatter. Strength of 2, probably too much. Yeah. 1.5. Yeah, all right, we'll do that. I think that's going to be our space. Now let's just SZ and bump it up a little bit. Cool. Alrighty. So we've got that now. Let's apply it. And I'm thinking I kind of want, again, going with yesterday's motif, like a spiral into the center. So let's create a curve and a curve spiral and a Archimedean. I can never remember which is the best one I want to use. Radius growth, turns. That seems cool. I like that. I'm just gonna rotate it. Not that it matters, but no, minus 90. So my front entrance to my spiral is kind of at the front space. And that feels good to me. Cool. Okay. I like that spiral. We'll keep it. Let's duplicate it. And let's see. Geometry, extrude it. Yep. But then rotate it. Rotate the mean tilt 90 degrees so it's flat. I'm just going to turn off our terrain for right now so we can see. That feels pretty good. Maybe a bit wider. Actually, because this would be the width of our path. That looks good. Let's do with let's go with 0.5. Okay. Good morning, Brian. I'm glad you made it. I don't know if you saw before, but yeah, I had a mad crash. Oh my God, my computer just died. It died so bad that it wouldn't reboot until I unplugged all the USB devices. It's like, ah! So I was a little freaking out. Q, okay, tab, Q, convert to mesh. Seems like it's okay now. That's what matters. Add modifier solidify up to there. Yeah. Not what you really are looking for right 5 minutes before you're going to start your stream, but you know how it goes. Select just the tops. Shift G, coplanar. X faces. Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, it wasn't worse. So we're gonna just hold on to that, and simplify it again. Control A. Just creating a little trough thing here. Hey, Striker. So we got our trough created. Then let's just lower it down just a little bit, so it's beneath our curve object. So we have a curve, and we have what will basically be the container for it to grow. And now we're going to go do some geometry node stuff and append the differential growth. Always a fun one. Node tree, differential growth. Cool. We can just get rid of these. Today's project, we're building kind of a ornamental garden. It's a monument to someone long dead. So we're going to play with sort of controlled growth of stuff and see what we get out of it. Okay, so this needs to go to a new collection called repulsors, because I like that as a better name than containers. This is going to get a geometry node, differential growth, and its container collection is going to be repulsors. Ooh, yeah, that sounds about like the same. Equally fun. Control save. I'm glad it was a false positive. 2 repulsor factor of 5 and repulsor back distance of 2 and 3D growth. And let's just see what we get. It's growing, but very slowly. Well, no, it's not that bad actually. Building a wall. Looking pretty cool though. Kind of working where I want it to. I think it's going to give me a little too high on the geometry. Let's see, what are we up to? Like, it's not bad. No, that's bad. Okay, 3 million polys is too much. Gonna have to fix that. And we can just increase the speed back up to like 5. And maybe we'll make the scale 3. That should make it faster and not quite so hardcore. Let's see. Seems better. I think we're getting more in line with what we want. We're building a hedge maze. Hedge maze out of fungus. Because I just find it entertaining to do something like that instead of out of bushes. Pause. Let's see. Still huge geometry-wise, but that's the end of the world. But let's do a little bit more. Let's go back a little bit more. Let's increase it up to like 7, see if that's too much. And resample length of like 0.075. Make it a little bit lower poly. That seems like that's better. try one more thing too. Tab A curve. Can I control points? To decimate the segments. There's just a way to make it to do that before. Decimate curve. Ratio of 0.75. Let's see. Only Bezier curves are supported. Yeah, you fucker. A cool prog rock track. Yeah, exactly, right? That sounds good to me. All right, we have to just tweak this a bit. It's just got too many control points. So we're just going to kill a geometry node for right now. Q, convert to mesh. 1. Fine. I don't want to do that. Tab 1. There we go. A, edge, unsubdivide. That's maybe too much. Iterations 1. Is that enough to still fit us in? Can I do a half iteration? No, it won't. All right. It's still kind of inside of our... Everybody looks like they're mostly inside, right? Seems like it. Okay. G, I'm just going to move the couple that are kind of a little close. So they're further in. Oh, that one's actually okay before. All right, that should be okay. And convert to curve. And now we should have less control points. Yes, we do. I was telling Brian and me, I'll probably tell you, I had the hardcore computer crash right before we started, which is why I'm a little bit behind schedule for where I wanted to be too. It died. I was a little worried. It wouldn't even reboot till I unplugged all my hard drives because I think something in the USB bus got very unhappy with me. So other than that, I'm doing like now that my computer's okay, I'm doing better. I'm like, oh yes, okay. Container, repulsors, curve of 3, keep old states, factor of 2, maybe even 3. Now let's see what we got. We're growing. I'm going to do one more fun thing just because I want to try this too. Let's see, Shift A, mesh. Yeah, cylinder, sure. 7, scale. Okay. GZ up to here. M to attractors. And then I can just hide it. And now if I select this and give an attractor, I should pull it up faster too. Attraction factor of 3 and an attractor max distance of like 10. Let's see. It is pulling it up. I'm not, it's a little too solid now. Am I gonna like hate myself for doing this? I think I've pushed it too far. Maybe I'm gonna go back again. Let's see. Edit, undo history. Fortunately, we have a huge undo history. So, I can literally ignore everything we just did and go back to the old one. But let's, because I wanted, the curve was just feeling too sharp. But we will add another cylinder, 7, scale. A vinegar mother? I don't even know what that is, but it sounds kind of vaguely, I don't know. There we go. Attractors, attracted factor of 5, max distance of like 15. And let's see what we got. Nothing, because it's gotten that weird thing that happens sometimes with this modifier that I don't understand, or we need to re-add it. But that's easy enough. Containers, repulsors, attractor is attractor, 15, 5, repulsion, 2. Let's try this. And keep old status. And we'll go to like 7. Okay, that's better. That's giving me more verticality that I wanted. We all hope life has an undo option. Here's the thing, it doesn't. It's too much verticality, but the right idea. So we are getting closer. Attraction factor 2. Oh, yeah, right. That makes sense, Michael. Better? I might go with it just because I'm starting to get tired of dealing with this. Does feel better. I'll try one more thing, which is I believe I had a repulsion factor of 5 before, and that might give us more bounce. Let's see. Yeah, we get more curl this way. And we like the curl. Okay. I know I said one more thing, but of course, as soon as I add more curl, then I want to increase my attraction factor to 5 as well. Can I get curl and height? Looks like I can, yes. That's what we want, but that's too far apart, I think. Let's look. Yeah, that's too far apart. So we're gonna have to go back down to like 3, but I think we're getting real close now. And we'll go profile curve up to 3. So it'll be a bit bigger too. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. I swear we had more curve before, but there it comes. That I think is working for us. And good. Let's see what we got without the repulsors. Pretty. It's frilly. And our ground back on. I'm just going to move this to a new thing called ground. That is pretty much exactly what I wanted. We have a nice looking little path. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to need to work on what's in the middle. Yes, that is true. I suppose if we look at our art history, a race to cocooning proves that there is an undo for even the hardest core of things, but sometimes not with other stuff. Um, where is our team? We're going to use her. Do, 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 do. If he was, it would be a Weezer song. Select hierarchy. We're going with the old ugly lady. Essentially, yes, that's what it is. It is like a Zen garden or, yeah. Um, this culture likes circles and spirals, so I'm kind of leaning into that too. Now let's remove the clothing from her because she's not going to be wearing any. And remove. I want to delete all of them. No. Okay, go bye bye. No hair because it's gonna make a statue out of her. Let's just solo her first now. And human generator. Where am I? Human generator. There we go. Pose. See what we have in the way of. I wish there was a cross-legged sitting one, but I don't think there is. It would make sense, but they didn't give us one. And it's kind of a hard pose to just make on your own too, but maybe we'll give her a chair. That could be kind of cool too. Um, that could be a neat one. This arm needs to come up. And select hierarchy. So there we go. Pose. Local. Cool. And up. But not so it's crossing through the other one. That's bad. Oh. Let's do the same on this one and take it out slightly. There we go. And okay. Looks good. Don't think that we have a particularly good mod or dial on these characters for pregnancy, which is fine for the normal run-of-the-mill thing, but body, torso, let's just look and see. Waist thicken a little, but not a lot. But we'll do that to give us what we want. Okay, and now let's just go to this, solo the body, and sculpt mode. We're not going to necessarily be 100% accurate on what pregnancy would look like. On the other hand, they're an alien, so like whatever. And it's a sculpture. Smooth that down. Who needs a belly button? It's actually not too bad. Oh. Okay, just a little more. I do kind of want to give her a belly button again. Sharp minus. I can't really because there's not the. Okay, there we go. And object mode, and we're back, and we're good. Sculpted in place. Yay. We need to make her bigger. Just grab that and scale up. We're gonna say about like that. And then R around and in that kind of spot there. And GZ and up. And we're gonna give her something to sit on. Might just make a rock at this point. I think that might even be the easiest thing. No reason to necessarily have to make it not a shrub. Complicated. Rocks. There we go. And we can kind of go with almost anything because, well, again, it's a garden. Let's do this one, see what it gives us. Cool. Scale it up. I like the way it kind of fits into that space. I'll have to scale it down a little bit to there. And then we can just sculpt it. It's probably not super high poly is my guess, but let's see. Oh, and make it editable. Convert to editable. Thank you. Sculpt mode. Yeah, okay, it's there. There we go. There we go. Flatten that down. I mean, it's just a sculpture, so it doesn't really matter. They can have made the rock however they want to. No. Take that down. That's how we're doing it. That in. Down. Down. And let's bring that back up there. And there. Seems pretty good. Now let's move it in so it's not clipping through our wall. Okay. Object mode, save. Let's just make sure that it doesn't look stupid, like I didn't screw up the texturing on it, on the rock. Yeah, looks good. Cool. We need to change her materials to something else because she is not going to be green. First off, I'm just going to remove, where am I? Clean slots, remove all material slots. Okay. And her eyes, join to that again. No, well, sure. And then just remove the material slots again. Right, okay. So she's not gonna be made of slime, no. Slime, that's like saying it's someone gonna be made out of potatoes, you know, or whatever. Not everything in these guys uses slime. Gonna just hide armatures for right now. Save again. And let's see, I might change it later, but I know for starting purposes, oh, come on, all right, there we go. Might be a little dark, but kind of something like that. I really actually dislike that mod, Dave. It kind of gets in my way, and I'm using so many plugins that I don't really think it's going to help you too much. Like these are not standard Blender controls. If you have a question on what I'm doing, please feel free to ask though. That's absolutely legitimate. I am more than willing to take time out to stop and talk about it, but I don't actually want you to be able to duplicate exactly what I'm doing. I want you to kind of learn the idea of it if it's a learning thing. Um, so anyway, Shift A, search, hue saturation. Let's bring that in here and value of like 3, 5. That seems cool. That's a good color for a statue. This has still got to be changed, obviously. But nice to see you, Dave. Good to have a new member. All right. So we have our statue in the center of our ring. I honestly don't think it would help that much because I don't like the Blender hotkeys that you use. They're really pretty simple. There's not many of them. It's like extrude, inset, move, resize. That's kind of the big ones. The rest of this stuff is all just like, oh, I'm using this weird plugin that, whatever. Um, okay, so we got that. Now, I thought about putting some water in here, and I wasn't entirely sure, but I think I will put a little bit of water, maybe just in front of her, kind of thing. So we're on our ground, and I did apply the geometry modifier this time. Because I remember yesterday, I'm like, why isn't it working? Because it's still not done, Seth. I know, there we go. Yeah, I feel like what key press you make in 3D is like the 3D equivalent of what Photoshop brush do you use. If you're asking, I mean, it doesn't matter. You're going to learn that stuff on your own if you don't already know it, and you're going to do it differently than me anyway. I hope. Um, and right, okay, that seems like a good tiny pool. Now that we've pulled that down again, now we're going to smooth this again. Ooh, that's gross. The heck is going on there? That is just gross. Oh, I know what's going on there. Don't die me, Blender. Come on. Save. This is another one of those times where it's like, let's apply our modifiers. And now let's sculpt it. Yes, we can make that nice better. Okay, cool. Yes, and then it's gonna need to drag the whole bottom of it too. Down. Probably I pulled that too far. Let's see. Yeah, let's just actually undo that. Edit, undo. Yeah, cool. Object mode. Let's just try scaling on the vertical. There we go. That's better. Oh, that's much better. And now it sticks into the ground too. Cool. Okay. Cool, save. Her feet are probably, I mean, I could just make her bigger. It could be kind of cool to put her feet underwater though, Striker. That might not be a bad idea. Let's try it. Let's see. Shift A, mesh, plane. Let's scale it up a bit. And then GZ and bring it up. Because the water can go to about there without us changing it. But we could certainly make her bigger. That would be very doable. Let's turn back on our armature. I certainly wouldn't mind trying it. Scale on her up more. And that means we'll have to G and down and in more like that. That's kind of cool. Maybe her rock needs to come down a little bit too. But I do like her feet in the water. Just see if we can just bring her rock down just a touch. She's still sitting on it. Yep. Cool. Save. And let's grab our water and Q, add modifier solidify, and make it a solid block of water because it tends to work better for the materials that way. And then go to polygonic, spawn material, and our pond water. And I don't think I'll need to make it editable, but just to make sure it's editable. Yeah, no, I think it's a cool idea. I like it. I thought I'm definitely down with that. It's interesting too that to get directly in front of her, you will now have to get wet, which I also think is kind of cool. I'll rotate her up a little bit. Like if you want to be off, supplicating the statue directly, you're going to be in 3 feet of water, and that's kind of neat. Okay, we need to fix this ground here just to bring it up a bit so it doesn't have water poke through. Sculpt, probably easier to move the ground than to subdivide the water. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Excited about the weirdest things. That's me. All right, I gotta keep track of time. I mean, I got plenty of time, but since we started like almost 15 minutes late because of my computer exploding, just don't have quite as much time this time as otherwise. I like that. I like that a lot. What can we do now? We do need to do some planting. Do we want other kind of statue-y type things? I think we do. I mean, I think we want our lights, right? We definitely have a sort of a theme going with those. So let's go grab those. Might as well just lean into our theme. And Alt R. I'm just going to bring all 3 of them in. Alt R. Here we go. And again, select them all. And while I'm thinking about it, object shade smooth, and then I don't have to worry about it. Oh yeah, yeah, we're working on the environment now. I'm gonna move this off to out of the way and close it. And yep, okay. Now let's take this one and where do we want to put the big one? Let's move it here at the start and GZ and down. Good. And then 7G. Kind of really don't need to go down on this one now because it's sort of already there. Should go up on it again. There. And then this one here, just kind of take it over there, I guess. Okay. So we have our 3 glowy trees, which I like. I might do some more with some glowy stuff. That could be fun. And how would be the best way to do that? Depends how random we want to be. But let's try. Let's see what we get. We'll start here, Shift A, mesh, and go with a sphere. I like this tree. It's because it's something that this people use as basically like streetlights. So like when you see these trees in situations like this, they were planted there and dealt with deliberately. So I don't actually think of them as a tree, even though I have done scenes with them in the wild too. But okay, and M, well, yeah, let's just actually F2 and call it light sphere. And we'll give it, what did I call this one? Blue light 5. Blue light. Any of those are fine. Blue light 3. Okay. Yeah, I try to make them different. So like this environment is very much this sort of thing, but we've done some cyberpunk. We did an ocean one. We did a like a Hawaii looking one. There has been a sulfuric desert planet and an ice planet since I started doing this in May. They've all been, a little bit different at least. I hope. Geoscatter. Scattering our object on an emitter. And we'll default to that one. Sure, scatter objects. And we got lots of globy things everywhere. But let's see if we can't play with that proximity to our new collection spiral hedge to the hedge, and then reverse the density and distance of 0.1, and then increase the distribution. I should put those relatively near. I'm going to point. Oh, give it a transition of 0. Well, not 0. Okay, 0.1. Now we got these things right along the spiral. And increase it again. We have our glowy blue lights on the ground. Oh, we're going to get there, Dave, but that's like we haven't even got to materials yet, much less lighting. So, these things happen in their time. Like our water is just there. And this is not going to be that material, but I do like those blue globes. Are we okay with them for size? I think we are. I think that's pretty cool. And maybe we'll go ahead and give this the barrier fungus texture. I really should add that to my asset library because I'm using it over and over again now. Slime Farm has it. Yep. Come on. Materials. Barrier fungus. And this has to be applied because right now it's no material. It's just a differential growth, but we're not going to grow it again. It's good. We like it where it is. So we have to object convert it to a mesh because you can't apply a modifier on a curve, which is just bizarre, but whatever. And then, yep, diff growth to fungus. Barrier fungus. Cool. Much darker now, but again, we're not done yet. Cool. Now go back to our ground and our geoscatter, and we'll kill that. That being my asset browser, because it doesn't want to work with the biome scatter. And grass. It's a kind of a good. I want it to be like kept, but not too kept. Does that make sense? Like I want it's these people don't mow, but they have removed other plants from the area. So we don't want like, French garden. This looks good though. I think this is giving me a good vibe. Cool. Yes, it has a heavy section of something, but it still showed it all to us. Let's jump back into gray. That feels good. I don't necessarily want it under the water. So let's just Boolean out. Do I have water? No. Move my water into its own group. Exactly. The goat principle. In this world, they'd probably be bugs. They'd be like prongies. But wouldn't surprise me at all if they had prongies cleaning this stuff up. But that doesn't mean it's going to be 100% even smooth cuts. Save. There we go. Okay, so we got our grass out from underneath our water. It's looking all right. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it off so we're a little faster. And okay, we got we're about a half an hour left. We're doing good. The next step we could do would be some trees and such around this, which might not be a bad thing. We're just gonna do it as a separate object. Shift A, mesh, circle again, scale it up. That should give us good coverage. F, cool. And then inset, like there, and then X, face. So we just got our ring now, another object. And I mean, we could just see what happens. I'm not opposed. Actually, okay, let's undo that. I want that. We're going to keep it this time. We're going to, really, I'm going to inset. Let's just go back. Where do we want to be? There. And then, okay. Tab F. Cool. 7. Inset to about there. And then inset again to about there. Okay, now that one, we're going to give the vertex group detail to. And assign it. And we're going to take the whole thing and down just a touch. Great, so it's below. Well, I want to be below. Well, okay, fine. Tab, then we're going to take that again and E and just down. Yeah, that works. That should be fine. We're not coming outside of this thing, so it should be all right. Save it. Now, F4, append. Oh, I already got it. I don't need to do this again. Let's just do it this way. Add modifier, geometry nodes, terrain. And GZ. I could bring it up. And then tab, E, down, tab. Cool, it's below everything. Yeah, it looks all right. I kind of like the little lip loop thingy. And this is in ground, right? I already moved it to ground? Yes, I did. And we're gonna move this one to outer ring, make our own group for it. Apply this again, and geometry node it, grab it, and give it a nice thick forest. Something I haven't maybe used as much before, just to be different. I do really like those other ones. I keep like, but I like them. Let's see what 3 looks like. Woo, trees! So many trees. Okay, and then we're going to change that to upward obstruction of ground. It should get rid of it. Yes. And now, and of course, the one direction I want it to become thicker is somewhat thinner. But we can just tweak it. Oh, come on. You want to give me more there, right? Although, actually, I can just take the whole thing and do that. Woohoo! And back a little bit. Seems good to me. Okay. Gotta love working with circles. We can always put something else right here if we want to, too. Maybe we will. That's just for interest's sake. I haven't used them in a while. Let's go one of those forest cliffs. Ground, forest cliff. This is a smaller module, but that's cool. It doesn't all have to be huge. And let's duplicate and split. Pull it up. Close it again. 7. And we'll grab this bad boy, G, to right there. And seems pretty good to me. And we have more if we need to use them. Save it. Okie dokie. And so this would be our actual like front of the statue view. Let's maybe set some cameras so we can see what we're looking at, just to make sure if we want to fill in background areas. Photographer, camera. Oh, come on, over here. Area Alexa. There we go. Lens, anamorphic, 50. Let's go to 35 to start with. And a resolution of widescreen IMAX. And something like that. And we can see that this is not bad, but maybe we want to, let's make it a little bit bigger, kind of more like that. Cool. All right. And our entrance is over here around her back. So it's kind of neat. So you'd kind of walk in and you would just kind of follow this around till you arrived there. I don't think we really need like a gate entrance thing, but we could. We also could, in the interest of making and me happy since we can't do cables today. Shift A, mesh, plane, F4, append, and slime generator, append, node tree, slime setup. Now we just delete these 3 spheres again. Grab our object, add a modifier, geometry nodes, slime setup, object 1, this guy, blue orb tree, object 2, this guy. So we may have to make more if we do that though, to kind of give it a ring. Because there's not really a great way to, although we could just see what happens if we cut it way down, but it's still going straight across. But that's okay. We're just going to do this. Grab our object, save, because we're moving shit. Let's actually, well, where'd he go? Where'd my cube go? Or my plane? Plane 1. Yes. M, new collection, slime. So I can turn off that GeoNode before I start moving shit around, because it seems like moving dynamic geometry tends to cause it to explode sometimes. And put it here. And then if we turn it back on, we're good. And we can add a bit of viscosity as per usual. Cool. And then we're just gonna have to then create this whole thing again. 7 Alt D over to here, and then this one Alt D to here, and then this one again Alt D to here, and rotate it, and maybe scale it down. That'd be kind of neat. It gives more of a vibe anyway. And then this one, or this one, Alt D to here, and then that one. Okay, that should be enough now. Yes, an entrance, I think some kind of an entrance gate is probably a cool idea. I don't disagree with that. Okay, so then Shift D, and we're gonna go from that one to this one, I think. Yep. Cool. And then Shift D, and we have to go from, just going backwards, I guess, but that's fine. To that one. Actually, we don't want one here because we need a way for them to get in. So that's gonna be our entrance. So we go from this one to this one. Yep, cool. And then Shift D again, and this one to this one. Cool. And then Shift D again, and that one to that one. And then save. Control save. Did I add another one again? I think I already did. Let's see. Yes, I did. Okay. This one from this one to this one. Yep. Cool. And one more. From this one to that one. Now we have slime everywhere. And let's see, this object, I'm going to change the seed on it. And actually decrease our numbers slightly. I want to go higher up, ideally, or at least not slime through. That seems like that's okay. This one. And okay, there we go. Cool, 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 cool. There we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, I'm going to apply all of these. Apply the modifiers. Cool. Because now we can give them an actual material that I want instead of this other one by just joining them all together into one slime family. And it's got the default slime on it. Do we want my sickly green one or do we want to use this one? Let's look and see. This is a very darker one. I think I kind of just like my sickly green one. Although this is a cool color too. Like, don't get me wrong. But let's just make a new one. And again, the easiest way for me, mesh plane, and then we're going to go to my asset browser and add the geometry node for slime coverage, which gives us the material we need. Procedural toxic slime. Exactly. Yeah. And we're going to get rid of this. But we want it water and not slime. You're not like they're not, gross. They just use this as their primary material, you know. So let's save again, and let's just check our colors, see where we're at. Yeah, that's a cool looking slime. Means we're gonna have to come in a little bit when we look at things, but that's fine too. I like it. I think it's okay. I'm trying to think if there's something else I would do to it. Has this been applied? Yes, it has, right? Tab. I'm just curious. L. I just want to see what it does here. I guess their cement and marble, ooh yeah, is more like this barrier fungus. But we will put a little more slime on here now, because now we can do this, add a vertex group on this, and we'll just make it interesting. And assign it. Because now we can come over here and geometry nodes, slime gen, not slime setup, slime gen, too many slimes. And it's not over everything. It's on. I saved it, didn't I? Thought I assigned it. Assign. Fine, just call it slime so I can make sure it's right. Slime. I guess it's probably more like they're cotton than anything else in some senses. Or wool, but I don't know. Slime. So the top gets that nice green, and that I dig. I think that that's kind of cool. And we could, just to make it one more step interesting, let's see, can we just, oh, first we have to apply it, which I can't do in edit mode. Apply it. Now we edit it. Now we select all the procedural slime and P, separate by selection. Okay. Slime, the fabric of lives. Exactly, it is. Cool. Okay, so now it's its own object again, or for the first time ever. And now we can select it, come down to our geoscatter and select it. And see about giving it some kind of a biome. So we can put some greens growing from the slime on top. And what would be a cool, got these wall ones, but I think they're a little thick. I don't think they're gonna work, so they would work super well. But maybe this one? Might have to remove any rocks or stuff from it, but I think we can use that. I'm always trying to add as many different textural feels to it as I can because it adds interest for the shot. Let's see, so we got grass clumps, clovers, grass small. What happens if we turn off the clump? Clumps are kind of, well, they're not too big actually, but let's get rid of the clumps though. The rest we'll keep. And if we look at it, gives us a nice kind of thing on it, potentially. Well, maybe I lied. Maybe I'm not going to get rid of it. Edit, undo history. Go back to that. Leave it on. Yeah, we'll leave it on. Okay. So, dokie. We might need more trees though. I think we will actually need one more ring that's a little bit more intense even than this one. Which is fine. Let's do it. Let's just turn off geoscatter right quick. And again, Shift A, mesh, circle, Alt G, scale it up to like that. Control A, rotation scale, tab, F, inset. And this one we can actually literally just remove this thing from. X, vertices, no, X faces. There we go. And then 2, GZ, up like that. And I suppose we could add the modifier again. Geometry nodes, terrain. Okay, but this time we do want to punch it a bit more. Are we back to default scale of 3? We can go 5. It's gonna be just bumpy back up there. Cool, that works. Apply it. And geoscatter again. select that terrain and biomes again. And we're going to go with Purse 14 because it's thick. And we don't see it because it's turned off. But if we turn back on Geoscatter, I want it thicker. Times. There we go. No trees nothing can be seen through there anymore. Excellent. Control save. And we're only at like 4 million polys. Is that all? We're doing fine. Let's, again, I'm just reusing stuff today, which is the advantage to being kind of well into a project, is you can do that. Live stream library, was it the library we gave it to? No, well, we might have, but Slime Farm I know does. Object, fog. Cool. Yeah, we're gotta go lower than that. GZ. Okay. Cool. Just take it all the way down. There we go. So it doesn't show up in anything important. And I know we're going to want it, but I'm just turning it off for right now because it just gets in our way. And I know we could make it so you can't select it, whatever else, but it's just easier to go away. Save. And go find ourselves a cool HDR again. We're going to go back to that same group. We've been having good luck with it lately. Import HDR images. And if I haven't mentioned it recently, these are all free HDRs from mattpaint.com. You can just go download them all. The trick is if you don't pay, you have to download all of them. So it's like 5 gigs. If you pay, you can just get the ones you want, which is a little bit like here. I'm going to go with kind of something a little more cloudy because we're going to add some light. 1010 looks good. So, okay, now we've picked it. EXR 1010. And control save. Again, let's come back and look. And it's probably going to be pretty damn dark, is my guess. Yeah, it's not too bad. But I think we'll make it a bit brighter. Exposure of like 1. Cool. And obviously this camera angle sucks. We just put something here so we could see something. And I want to turn off, looking at, come on here, this one. Armatures again, so I can see the statue well. Okay. Save it. And let's go back and add our bullshit fake sunbeam because it works. Light control, light beam, R, oh, let's see, first off, Alt R, RX90, and which way is it? I can never remember which way it's coming down. I always have to go look at it. Okay, GZ, we had local, ugh. Okay, yeah, so it's sideways, right? Rotate it like that. Really depends on if for me, HDR resolution, are you using lens blur? And how close is your character to the camera? If I'm using a serious like if I'm doing a portrait, you can use basically any resolution of HDR you want to, because the whole background's just going to be blurred out anyway. I kind of try to avoid using anything less than 2K at this point, and I try to use 8K if I can get it for the final. For this scene, you can't really see any of the sky, so 2K is absolutely fine. Um, um, Scale. Essentially, though, if you use too low a resolution, you'll see it looks kind of pixelated in the background. It doesn't hurt the lighting really in any way. So if you're not seeing it at all, use the lowest resolution one you can possibly get away with. Um, but if you're seeing it, which way we want the light to come from? Where's our camera front? So right now, coming that direction. That's okay. It's too bright, as is often the case. And I think we want it behind her too. That's going to make it darker, but still good. Yep, cool. And then, I mean, like I hate saying it always, but it's always like, it depends. That's the answer. Um, Value of 2. And we got to turn back on fog now, because now we will see it potentially. And RZZ. Something like that. For years I just used 1K, because that's the other thing too, is it really they're big, like they use a lot of RAM. So like if your video card is struggling, try punching down your HDR first, because you might not need a 500 plus meg HDR loaded into memory if if you can avoid it. I feel like that's kind of working. It might still be a little bright. That might be better. Um, yeah, okay. Cool. File, save. Now, I think we actually want a slightly bigger for our intro shot view of this character. Maybe something like that, so we have a little bit of foreground dirty as well. Could be okay. Photographer. Select our depth of field, focus, yep. And go back to geoscatter and select our ground and just turn it back on so we can actually see what it kind of looks like when we've got grass there on the field. This could be neat. I mean, I like scenes like this too. I like sort of these sort of weird, peaceful, obviously, a bit, oh yeah, well, and that's obviously the higher the fidelity of your HDR, the crisper your reflections will be too. So if you're doing like chrome on a Harley and you really want like good reflections, then you probably want higher than otherwise. How do we feel about that? We like it, but actually I think it does need to be a bit wider when we pull back. Let's see. So it's not quite so like, hi, here's my thing pointing right at this thing's face. don't like that. Let's see, can we adjust that? M, to lights first. And this one right here is really bugging me. So this needs to cut down just a bit. There we go. Because of the light, we're getting this one like really harsh rim right there on the tangent side of the frame, and it was annoying me. Save. And let's see again. I've gone over for time, but not quantity of time because I started late. But you know, hey, I'm kind of okay with that. The foreground slime's kind of neat. That's kind of cool. I think I want to put a person in there for scale. That's the only, maybe 2 people in here for scale. Kind of same vibe as yesterday. Do I have another Blender open? Yes, I do. I have the team. So we probably want a Falanti looking at this thing since it's a, one of the Falanti women from before. She was looking before at the other one. It doesn't really matter. We can use her again. Select the hierarchy, copy the objects, turn off the geoscatter. We like it. We know we like it. It's not going to hurt anything. Control V. Cool. There she is. Miss America. No. We got to turn back on armatures so we can move her. And off fog so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Okay, and RZ. She is not worshiping at the site because not her ancestor. She's just taking it in. Rotate a little more. Cool. And local, sure. I think she's pretty much on the ground, isn't she? Yeah, she looks like she is. Yeah, pretty much. We can actually, her foot's kind of stuck in the ground. Do that. And then I'm good with that. There we go. And there's our human for scale. Cool. And I mean, it's essentially, stick figure salesman, but there's nothing wrong with that every once in a while. Oh, we were going to put a gate in. That's the one other thing we were going to do, right? Some kind of something. And I think, what do we want that to be? What kind of cool thing could we do? I mean, although honestly, no, I think this is kind of, we've kind of got that. To enter this space, this is your gate right there. So we kind of have that already. This whole area is the holy space, as much as these guys aren't particularly religious, but the reflective space. So I think we're good. Cool. All right, folks. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Sorry I started a bit late because of the damn crash, but fortunately my computer does not seem to have died. It just got confused because whenever it doesn't even post, it's kind of like, oh God, please no. But seems like it's okay. So mission averted. Behind who, Dave? Which one? You mean the gate behind her? That's the gate, yes. And you come in and then you walk around and you arrive here at the center of the spiral. And you do your thing, and you say your respects to the first mother of the natives, and you're good. So cool. I'm gonna post the stuff up on the socials, and everyone have a great day. It's kind of rainy and chilly here, but it is December in the Pacific Northwest, so that's what you get. um, Take care, folks, and talk to you later.